Rick and Morty Season 1 Episode 1 Pilot. The episode begins with a scene at midnight, where Morty is sleeping and Rick drunkenly bursts into the room and tells him that he has a surprise for him to see. While driving his newly constructed flying vehicle, Rick explains that he has created a neutrino bomb that can restart the Earth and wipe out humanity, planning to start the world over with Morty and Jessica as the new Adam and Eve. Morty tries to take control of the situation by grabbing the steering wheel of the flying vehicle. Eventually, Rick also agrees to land, explaining that it was all just a test to make Morty act more decisively. Rick passes out and the bomb announces that it has been activated. The next morning, Morty oversleeps during breakfast. His mother, Beth, is worried, and Morty's sister, Summer, explains that he went out with his grandfather, Rick. This causes an argument between Morty's father, Jerry, and his mother's husband. Rick believes that school is unnecessary, and before leaving, he compliments the breakfast made by Beth, making her tearful with happiness and no longer angry at her father. Beth's husband, Jerry, feels very uncomfortable. At school later that day, while taking a math test, Morty falls asleep and sinks into a dream full of numbers. However, the dream quickly turns into a sensitive encounter with Jessica, in which she asks him to play with her exposed breasts. After that, Morty is bullied by Frank. Rick suddenly appears and uses a freezing ray to stop him and convinces Morty to give him a hand in a different dimension. After Rick and Morty leave, Summer comes and tries to impress Frank, but she trips and shatters into pieces on the floor, causing Summer to scream in horror. During lunch break, Jerry goes to meet his wife Beth while she is undergoing heart surgery to invite her to lunch, but she refuses. Then, he suggests that they should put Rick in a nursing home, which makes Beth angry. In an alley, Rick opens a portal and takes Morty to a strange and colorful world. Rick tells Morty that they are in Dimension 35C and explains that he needs a mega seed from a mega tree for his research. When Morty expresses his concern, Rick tries to reassure Morty by giving a speech about facing fear. Suddenly a spider-like monster starts chasing them. Rick screams in fear that he has never seen anything like it before, and they will die. After escaping the monster and passing by some other monsters, Rick points out to Morty a large grove at the bottom of a deep valley. Rick gives Morty a pair of gravity boots to walk on surfaces to collect mega seeds. Rick forgets to tell Morty to activate the boots, causing him to fall. Meanwhile, Jerry and Beth are arguing about Rick's negative influence on Morty's education. While they are arguing, the school principal, Vagina, calls and asks them to come to the school and talk to him. Back in Dimension 35C, Morty lies on the ground under a rock wall, his leg broken. After a heated argument, Rick uses the portal gun to go and get a special medicine to heal Morty's broken leg. After his legs return to normal function, Morty used the gravity boots to retrieve the mega seeds. Meanwhile, Rick told a story about the interesting dimension he had visited to get the medicine for Morty. But he stayed there for too long and his portal gun ran out of energy. So, in order to return, the two had to pass through the interdimensional customs. But to be able to bring these supersized seeds, Morty had to hide them in his rectum to avoid detection. Rick explained that he couldn't do that anymore because he had smuggled too many times. When meeting Principal Vagina, Jerry and Beth were informed that their son Morty only attended a total of 7 hours of school in a 2-month period. Additionally, the principal told them that Rick is the one who often takes Morty out of school. After arriving at intergalactic customs, Rick and Morty discovered a device that detects hidden objects in their buttocks. Rick and Morty immediately ran away and caused an alarm. After an intense chase and shootout with alien soldiers, Rick managed to open a portal and return to Earth. Rick and Morty fell into the school cafeteria. Unfortunately, they ran into Jerry and Beth there. After returning home, the couple started packing and took Rick to the nursing home. Rick argued with his daughter and son-in-law about Morty's intelligence, saying that adventures are a good way for Morty to learn. To prove his point, Rick asked Morty the second derivative of pi and the first law of thermodynamics, and surprisingly, Morty answered them all correctly. At this point, Morty's parents are no longer angry and agree to let Morty go with Rick. After Jerry and Beth leave, Rick explains to Morty that his superintelligence is only temporary, just a side effect of the mega seed dissolving in his system. Another side effect is that he may lose his brain and motor functions for 72 hours.